Hello everybody, my name is Hako and welcome to my channel. In this video we're gonna get a little bit nerdy, we're gonna be crunching some numbers. So one of my favorite kind of videos to make is kind of testing out theories or trying to prove or disapprove claims regarding, this and that. We've had some fun ones. I was called, an utter idiot for running anomaly mastery on my Jane, and I did extensive testing, and turned out, I'm still an idiot, but not for that reason. Link in the description to that if you want to see it. So what are we gonna be testing today? Today I'm gonna be checking the validity of the claim that if you run lighter with Ellen, for example, that Ellen's disc 5, which is usually ice damage bonus, it's what most people are running. Actually, let's get a proper percentage on this. There's gonna be a lot of percentages on this video. Let's start off with this one. So, for this one we can see that 63% of all people are running ice damage bonus on disc 5. 60% are running pen ratio and kind of same on, and exactly the same on attack percentage. So, the claim is that if you run lighter, that gives 75% ice damage bonus. So, more than double this ice damage bonus, and then, half another one more. That you lose out on damage by running ice damage bonus, and you should instead be running attack percentage or pen ratio. So that is our claim, and now let's head on over to the VR battle halls and, test this out. I spent most of my afternoon doing this, and quite psyched about the results. So let's start off with the ice damage bonus one and have that kind of as our benchmark. Most people are running this, and for this let me put on my vision. Most people are running the ice damage bonus, so we have that as the benchmark, as the 100% of the damage. So this test consists of like 3 different attacks. I wanted to see what's the biggest, like the last hit of Ellen's EX special. What's her basic attack after she has a frost charge, so like when her basic attack deals frost damage, and how much damage does the last big tick of her ultimate do. And with an ice damage bonus set without lighter, an E did 9,400 damage, basic attack 16,000 damage, and the last tick of the ultimate did 78,000 damage. With lighter, we can see a significant boost to this. The E, so the EX special attack, does 1 damage short of 16,000. Basic attack does 26,900, so almost 27,000, and ultimate does 110,000 damage. So these are pretty nice numbers, and this is the attack pattern I use throughout the entire testing. 1 EX special, 1 basic, and then 1 ultimate. So the ultimate benefits a little bit of the boost that Ellen gets during this. I brought Sokaku just to have Ellen's additional ability active, because I figured most people that are going to be running Ellen, will be running her in some sort of like ice team, whether it's Lycan, Sokaku, etc., even if they bring lighter. So Sokaku is here. She's not applying any buffs, but she is here to just enable Ellen's additional ability. So these are our benchmarks. Let's see how attack percentage competes. So with an attack percentage at disc 5, without lighter, we see a drop-off of 6% of EX special damage. Instead of doing 9,400, we instead do 8,900. Like I said, this is a drop of 6%. For the basic attacks, instead of doing 16,300, we do 15,900. This is a drop-off of 3%. On the ultimate, instead of doing 78,000, we instead do 74,000. This is a drop-off of yet another 6%. So across the board, we do lose out a little bit when we switch to the attack percentage disc, when we play without lighter. But now comes the really interesting part, in my opinion. So, when Ellen is buffed by lighter, we do 16,040 damage with the EX special, which is a very, very similar to what we did on the ice damage disc. It is an increase of 0.2%. The basic attack that comes after, we do see an increase of 2% in damage. So basically what we're seeing here, the higher the numbers, the more attack percentage is gonna start pulling ahead now. And on the ultimate, instead of doing 110,000, we do 131,000. So this is an increase of 13% running attack percentage instead of ice damage bonus. So without the buffs from lighter, you know, we were losing out on 3 to 6% of damage. With the buff from lighter, we see a small increase on EX special, basic attack, and a kind of significant increase in ultimate. And what we're seeing here, like I said, it is when bigger numbers, bigger hits are starting to like come into play, we are going to be pulling ahead. So let's discuss it a little bit why after we also take a look at pen ratio. And let's look without lighter first. On EX special, we see a drop of 3% in damage. So ice damage bonus, we did 9,400. With pen, we do 9,200. But with attack percentage, we did 8,900. So we're still up a bit from attack percentage, but we're falling behind the ice damage bonus, but not as far behind as with attack percentage. With the basic attack, we actually do see an increase of 0.3%, so like a very negligible, very small, but it's a slight increase even like without being buffed by lighter. On the ultimate, with ice damage bonus, we did 78,000. With pen percentage, we do 76,000. So a drop off of 3% in damage. Still an increase of 3% compared to attack percentage. But now comes the interesting part. Let's look how we look buffed by lighter. So with lighter, our EX special does 16,537. And this is an increase of 3%. The basic attack that comes after, we do 28,449, which is an increase of 5%. And now for the big kicker, for the ultimate, the big chunk of damage, we do 135,960, which is an increase of 16% compared to the ice damage bonus one, and it is a 3% increased compared to the attack percentage one. So once again, what we can see is, you know, the bigger the numbers, the more we start pulling ahead. And in this case, pen percentage does pull ahead more than attack percentage. But attack percentage and pen percentage, you know, both pull ahead from ice damage bonus when they're buffed by a massive buff, you know, like lighters. And he is not going to be the last person that, you know, that is able to apply this ridiculous amount of like increased elemental damage. He is absolutely not going to be. It's like, this is going to be very useful information, very useful data, you know, to use later on. Let's go full, you know, transparency. Let's take a look at the discs I was using. So this is my ice damage bonus disc. This is my pen ratio disc. And this is my attack percentage disc. Prior to, you know, doing these testings, I only had my ice damage one leveled up, but only, you know, in order to be able to do these tests, I leveled a pen ratio one and I leveled an attack percentage one, and neither of these are, you know, necessarily good discs at all, but they're kind of equally bad, equally good. So I decided that we could use them. Now it's not a perfect, you know, clinical trial. Preferably we'd have 3 discs, which, you know, neither of them buffed anything with their substats. Now instead, all of the discs buffs a little bit with their substats. Like one has pen, one has attack percentage, one has a little bit of crit damage. to kind of even it out. And for a lot of it, the small differentiations are small enough to be kind of covered up or neglected, or be made redundant with better substats. So like say that you have one ice damage bonus one that has managed to roll 3 into crit damage and maybe 2 into attack percentage. That will still win out over a pen rate one or attack percentage one where all of the substats are just garbage poo-poo. So like important to keep that in mind. Like we're not talking about like 50% increase in damage, and for the most part, unless it was the ultimate, the damage is very, very similar. Like we're talking about a difference of 1 to 5% on most things. But the big kicker that is the ultimate, then with pen ratio we did see an increase of 16% in damage, and that is quite a significant increase anyway. So according to my tests, what will win out with the lighter buff is a pen ratio, and preferably with really good substats. So this one that I have is not great at all. I want to crit damage my Ellen, so I'm gonna be trying to get a better pen ratio one. So in simple terms, what we're seeing is kind of a diminishing return when it comes to the elemental damage bonus. When we get such a massive amount, like when Lighter's buffs are active and then Ellen's additional passive is active, like she's looking at like an increase of like 130% to ice damage once everything is on and kicking. So in that case, taking away 30 of those, like it's barely noticeable in the numbers, and instead helping out that very heavily elemental loaded damage out in other ways, with being able to bypass the defense or giving an attack percentage increase, which we're not getting to the same extent anywhere, is gonna help out the ice damage even more than actually just adding on ice damage. And it goes to show that staying flexible with your characters, like not neglecting any stance and kind of be a little bit well balanced out, seems to be the great option when it comes to the combat. So yeah, in this case, people are absolutely right in saying that if you're buffing Ellen with lighter, pivoting away from ice damage bonus will give you even bigger numbers. Once again, you're not stupid if you keep running your ice damage bonus disc. Like the numbers might even be good enough to warrant leveling up another disc if you already are set with an ice damage bonus one. If you're like me, you probably this probably took a lot of crafting, a lot of farming to finally get that ice damage one that's not absolutely useless. So yeah, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this. My next crunchy video I'm already making, it is once again gonna be like Ellen related. I kind of love her as a character. It is focused on kind of determine what her best teams are after Lighter's arrival. Nowadays you can run her with Lighter and Caesar. She loses out on her additional ability, but the buffs she gains from both Caesar and Lighter might be worth it. And what happens if we switch out Lycon for Lighter, or vice versa, or should we switch out Sokaku? All of that we'll take a look on in that video, but that's a video for another time. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you found it informative, fun, and helpful. If you did, thumbs up. And I'll see you in the next one. I put out Zenless content every day, so stick around the channel if you're interested in that. Alright. Thank you so much, everybody. Bye-bye.